What is the story, everybody? It's Jonathan from Team ChainBlock coming at you with yet another deck profile. But as always, before we get into it, please like, comment and subscribe. And please check out the links in our description where you'll find a link to Kong's cards where you can take advantage of our discount code ChainBlock5 for 5% off all your purchases. Most recent set, at time of recording, is the brand new set Legacy of Destruction, which includes some amazing new brand new archetypes, some amazing support. And yeah, it's just one of the coolest set in recent memories. I think the booster box is the nicest looking set we've had in years. It's just really cool. So yeah, if it wasn't obvious enough by the title and what's in front of you, we are profiling for you Ancient Gears, my favourite deck followed by Sacred Beast and Busted Braider, that finally got support after it must be about 10 years. So yeah, I'm going to drop a quick little video here of my favourite monster in YuGiOh's first appearance in the anime, so enjoy that, and I'll get into the deck profile right now. Right, let's go. So, let's get into the Ancient Gear monsters first. The first card we're playing is the one, it's not really a brick anymore, Ancient Gear Golem. So, normally this card cannot be special summoned, but the new art, the new support, and a few other previous cards lets you special summon the original big baddie Ancient Gear Golem, ignoring its summon conditions. This card inflicts piercing battle damage, and as most of the Ancient Gear monsters do, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps in response to this card's attack until after the damage step. The next card we are playing is 3 of the new card, and it's insanely good, 3 Ancient Gear Tanker. So, this card is amazing. It's possibly, along with the continuous spell, arguably these two are the best new additions to the deck. And when this card is normal or importantly special summoned, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your hand, except itself, ignoring its summoning conditions, as I said previously. Or if your opponent controls a monster, which they may do, as this list is built to go second, you can special summon one from your graveyard instead. Also, you can target one face-up card you control, destroy it. Also, for the rest of the turn, all monsters you control that include the name or are Ancient Gear Golem gain 600 attack. So yeah, it's a level 4. It can, when it special summons itself, it can special summon another monster. This deck revolves around popping Gear Town in order to get extra special summons or extenders, and just getting out big Ancient Gear machines. But it doesn't have to pop Gear Town specifically, it's just a face-up card you control. Next, 3 of the old boy from the structure deck, which was the previous best summon, Ancient Gear Wyvern, which, thank God, also activates its effect on normal or special summon. So when this card is special summoned or normal summoned, you can add one Ancient Gear card from your deck to your hand. You can also not set any cards for the rest of the turn. Very important, I think 3 cards now include that text. So if you're made to go first and you open an Imperm or a Call Boy, before you go into your combo, it's important that you set it. The reason being is Ancient Gear cards, I think it's called Ancient Gear Drill, have a spell card that when you control an Ancient Gear monster, you can basically grab any spell card. So it's to avoid you setting some really abusive stuff and just taking advantage of it altogether. Also, it shares the Ancient Gear trait that when it attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell or trap cards during the damage step. Next, we are playing 2 of the new big bad Ancient Gear Dark Golem. This card is insane. So if this card's name becomes Ancient Gear Golem while it is face up on the field or in the graveyard, that is very important. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can add up to 2 Ancient Gear cards or Gear Town, very importantly, from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Gear Dark Golem. Then discard one card. So the continuous spell along with this card is a 1.5 combo into, I think it's 5 Ancient Gear monsters, and just a lot of fun. Also, it shares the trait where you cannot set cards after this card resolves, again if you add the abusive spell. Once per turn, if this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. Again, like most Ancient Gear monsters. It's a level 8. It's like an advanced version of Ancient Gear Golem. Such a good card, such a great addition. Next, we're playing one of the other new monsters, the last new monster, Ancient Gear Commander. So you can send Ancient Gear Golem from your hand, deck, or face up on the monster zone to your graveyard. Immediately after its effect resolves, you can normal summon one Ancient Gear monster. If you normal or special summon Ancient Gear Golem, which this is treated as, you can special summon one Ancient Gear Golem from your hand or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. As I said, a lot of them share that trait now. Also, the best effect of this is, as you'll be summoning this off Urgent Shaddoll, you can banish this card from your graveyard to place one Ancient Gear continuous trap from your hand face up on your field. So really good. I'll get into the Ancient Gear trap now and show you what it does. And then last, which is now the only true brick of the deck, Ancient Gearbox. When this card is added to your hand, you can add a Earth Machine that has 500 attack or defense. That is your Ancient Gear Commander or another Earth Machine that I will show you shortly. Now, 3 of the best spell in the deck, absolutely insane. 3 Ancient Gear Advance. There was a lot of thought that this might be a secret rare, but the package is very cheap, the highest rarity being the 1 super rare in Ancient Gear Dark Golem. So, when this card is activated, you can add any Ancient Gear spell or trap from your deck to your hand. Amazing. Once per turn, you can also tribute 1 monster, draw 1 card. It doesn't have to be an Ancient Gear, which is good. You can get rid of a Kaiju or something that locks you. And then for the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field. So, absolutely insane. It has another effect. You can normal summon 1 Ancient Gear Golem or 1 level 5 or higher monster that mentions it without tributing. So that lets you normal summon the OG or the new big boy. And also it shares the effect you cannot set for the rest of the turn after you activate this card because of the spell. Now, 3 Gear Town, a card which is exceptionally easy to pop now, as you have Ancient Gear Catapult, which we'll get into. You have Ancient Gear Tanker and also our Link monster. So if you don't know, when Gear Town is destroyed, you can special summon 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck or graveyard. Also, you can normal summon an Ancient Gear monster with 1 less tribute. Not really relevant now, but it could come up. Important to note, anyone who played old YuGiOh, Gear Town misses timing, so you have to be careful with how you pop this card. Next, we got a very good card to search off Dark Golem, 3 Ancient Gear Catapult. When you open up Ancient Gear Catapult and this card or Gear Town, you are just off to the races, as this card, when you control no monsters, lets you pop a face-up spell or trap, special summon an Ancient Gear, a face-up card, special summon an Ancient Gear monster, ignoring its summon conditions, and you also get an Ancient Gear token. Next we have 1 Ancient Gear Fortress, a card that has gone up, skyrocketed in price. I think it's now 20. So during the turn they were normal or special summoned, your opponent cannot target Ancient Gear monsters you control with card effects. Amazing. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot activate effects in response to your Ancient Gear monsters or cards. If this card is destroyed, also you can special 1 Ancient Gear monster from your hand or graveyard. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Ancient Gear monsters. So, if you're going to activate the second effect of Fortress, you'd want to be doing that last, as you can spam out a load of bodies and link and do full modern stuff in this deck. But insane card, stops your opponent from resolving or responding to any of your Ancient Gear stuff. Next we have the 1 Ancient Gear Fusion, a card which is much better now, as if you control an Ancient Gear Golem, you can use Ancient Gear monsters from the deck if you have this guy or this guy on the field, and then special summon 1 of your 4 fusions. Insane card, super searchable now. And then lastly we have the Ancient Gear Duel, the only trap. Insane card. You place its face up with your Ancient Gear Commander. So Ancient Gear Golem and monsters that mention it, which is a lot, in your monster zone are unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. That's just amazing. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon from your extra deck by banishing cards from your field or graveyard as material, including an Ancient Gear Golem you control. And if you do, it can make up to 3 attacks during each of your battle phase. So you can fusion summon a monster that mentions Ancient Gear Golem and fusion monster. There's 2 targets in the extra deck, and then attack up to 3 times. If you summon Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem, you can attack 3 times with over 4k attack and do piercing damage. Insane card. So that's it for the Ancient Gear monsters. Let's go into some Earth Machine support. So the other card you can search off box, Infinite Track Anchorville. On normal summon, it just allows you to special summon an Earth Machine from your hand. Also, it can copy the level of another monster on the field, another machine, and become that level. So this and any one of the level 4s, because there's many level 4 Ancient Gear monsters, make a rank 8. Also, of course, we're playing the 2 Regulus. It's Earth Machine, it's insane. There's ways to search him. He is just an Omni Negate by special summoning this card. All you need to special summon them is have a Tyrion or Machine monster in your graveyard. And then the last bit of machine support is 3 Urgent Shaddoll. It is a go in second list, so when your opponent controls more monsters, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower and 1 level 5 or higher Earth Machine monsters. Usually what you're summoning is the Commander and the Dark Golem. Also, the only lock in this deck it has now, unlike Earth Machine, it doesn't lock you into machines. But if you activate this card, important to note, you cannot attack unless you attack with machine monsters for the rest of the turn. Also, if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add 1 level 10 machine monster from your hand to your deck. Not really important in this deck, but it's obviously a good effect. Now, let's go into a funny little package we're playing as we're going second, and it's pretty good, this format, with Snake Eye floating around. So, we are playing 1 Shaddoll Genius and 1 Shaddoll Aerial. So, we won't be using the flip effects, but the only important things to know are, when this is sent to graveyard with Shaddoll Fusion, which obviously we are playing 3 of, you can target a monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and when this card is sent, you can banish up to 3 cards from your opponent's graveyard. Great for getting rid of the lows, the princesses, the Snake Eye cards. So just a really good go in second package. Genius is an Earth Machine, which is immediately giving you a target for Regulus. Also, the Shaddoll we summoned from the extra deck is Earth Machines, which is very good for our Link monsters. So that's the Shaddoll package. Next we're going into the stables. So, the extra deck spaces are pretty flexible, so we're playing 3 Super Polymerization, 2 Triple Tactics. The deck does burn through its resources fairly quickly. It gets them really quickly, so just being able to start that off and interacting with your opponent with Triple Tactics is insane. 1 Cowboy, and then 3 Infinite Impermanence. So we're playing really aggressive staples. A good choice also is Forbidden Droplet, because you cannot set cards after you activate 3 of the Ancient Gear monsters. So just activating these into your opponent's board, this helping stop you, is just really good to just break your opponent's board. This deck can OTK super quickly. That's it for the main deck. It's just over 40 cards. Let's go into the extra deck. I apologize for the coughing. I am under the weather. So we are playing 1 Ancient Gear Ballista, the last way to pop your Gear Town. So it requires 2 Earth Machine monsters. If this card is linked someone, you can add 1 Ancient Gear monster from your deck, or Gear Town from your deck to your hand. So the best target is Gear Town, but the Ancient Gear monster we're adding, as opposed to previous builds, is not only Ancient Gear Box. There's so many other good targets to add off this. A good thing to know is you don't have to go through your normal summon, so it's good to start with, but you can avoid doing it. So getting this card out and being able to pop a Gear Town to just spit out bodies more, and then adding a gear monster that you can then normal summon like Wyvern or something just to get you that extra bit further is amazing. Also, as I said, it can pop a face up card you control and then target the opponent's monster, make it 0, swing in with a big monster, and then with the pop, if you pop a Gear Town, special summon an Ancient Gear, you know how it goes. Next we're playing 1 SP Little Knight, as it's SP Little Knight. We're playing Appaloosa, as you regularly leave this card on the field and you can get many Ancient Gear monsters on, and if you're forced to go first, you can make an Appo. We have a lot of level 4s, we can make Pabuska if we're made to go first. There's a lot of ways to make level 8s, the Searcher Tyrion Gear Regulus with Sargas. You can make Dingirsu, which is good because it's a machine, and if you Urgent Shaddoll, you get locked into machines. 1 Zeus, as again, it's a machine, and we play some XYZs. And now we're into the fusion monsters. As I said, we're playing just the 1 Shaddoll Shekanagra. It is an Earth Machine. It does have a negate monster effect. If you somehow open the 2 Shaddoll fusions, you can discard the other fusion to negate, but he's mostly just to interrupt your opponent with the sent Shaddoll monsters. And then Earth Machine, link away into Ancient Gear Ballista. Some super poly targets. We're playing 1 Muddragon, 1 Garua, and 1 Predoplant Dracus Dispelia. So draw a card, double battle damage, protect when you change its attribute, and then Dracus Dispelia is negate. All good super poly targets. Now we're into the fun Ancient Gear monsters. So we're playing 1 Ancient Gear Howitzer, a good burn and time card. You can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. Also really unique, this is unaffected by your opponent's card effects, so it can be annoying. So if they do destroy this card and by battle and it's sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Ancient Gear monster from your deck. So it's kind of like good follow-up. So if you just leave this on the field, burn, they destroy with battle, you can then special summon an Ancient Gear monster. Next we're playing one Ancient Gear Megaton Golem. So if this card attacks, again, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. If this card is fusion summoned by using 2 Ancient Gear Golems, which is very possible, it can't attack that many times. If this face-up fusion summoned card in its owner's possession leaves the field by an opponent's card effect, it doesn't have to go to the graveyard, you can special summon the next monster, one Ultimate Ancient Gear Golem. So, if this card attacks a defense position monster, it inflicts piercing battle damage. And if this card is destroyed by battle, or just is destroyed, you can target one Ancient Gear Golem in your graveyard and special summon it. So that means you can now special summon the Ancient Gear Dark Golem as it is treated as Ancient Gear Golem. And then the last card, the boss monster of the deck, one of the best fusion cards ever made, is one Chaos Ancient Gear Giant. What a card. So, it must be fusion summoned and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. It is unaffected by spell or traps. If you get certain stuff up, it's just unaffected by activated effects and then it can't be targeted. Your opponent cannot activate effects during the battle phase. That's very relevant now with Tempai running around. Also, this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. If this card attacks defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. Just an absolute house and a really hard card for a lot of decks to deal with. So that's it, guys. That is Ancient Gears, one of my favourite decks of all time. So yeah, please like, comment, subscribe, and see ya.